What's up? This is Draco.
And this is Alicia.
And you're now tuned in to OD
Podcast.
Oh.
Period.
And we back on this thing. Y'all got us fucked up, ho.
What y'all thought? Y'all thought we weren't going to release no episode. I should have put this out early just for all the pussies.
Pussy.
Oh, God. What is going on, man?
Let me just tell y'all, this past week tried to kill me, man.
Man, this past month tried to kill me.
I've been so freaking busy and tired. I still ain't really caught up on a lot of rest, but I think tonight I'm gonna take a melatonin and just sleep in.
Like a gummy or a bear? Like, how do you consume melatonin?
I just take the regular vitamin.
I never did it
Sometimes
before.
I don't even do that. Sometimes I'll just take a piece of edible.
Oh, you clearly ain't got jobs to worry about. I always feel like if I consume something like melatonin, like I can't reverse whatever about to happen to me.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
You ever took one before?
I took a ZZ Quill.
It's not as strong. ZZ Quill might be stronger than melatonin.
Oh, well, I don't.
It only relates for me. I can only speak for myself. It just relaxes me. The downside of melatonin for me is that when I do wake up from it, sometimes my body hurts because I feel like I've got too much rest.
Jesus,
or if
a ghost beat you up in your sleep.
Right. Or I have this thing where my body just automatically wakes up at 7 a.m. every day, or sometimes before. And even when I take melatonin, sometimes it will wake me up, and then my body will be so tired from the melatonin that I just have to make myself go back to sleep immediately to sleep the rest of it off.
That sounds very complicated.
So, but I need rest. When I do wake up, I'm going to just take a B12 and just let's do it.
You love B. I wish we could get paid for every time you said B12 in this podcast.
I know. I love B12. I'll be taking B12 before the club sometimes. Like, if I start yawning, I'll pop a B12. I do not take Red Bull.
Do you pop it before or after the perk?
You got me effed up. I ain't never took a perk, ever.
So, what have you been up to?
Oh, honey. What did you like to know?
So much has happened since the last time we recorded. I mean, for, y'all.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. So, within that time, I think I did 3 music videos, 4 reality shows, all type of crap. I ain't gonna say crap. This is my job, but I've been just beyond baby. When I say booked and busy.
You know what's so funny? The person who came up with the term booked and busy is Zell Swag, who was on Love and Hip Hop. You know he the reason why people say that? He said Masika was booked and busy.
Oh, well.
Man,
I don't really know too much about Zell Swag. I don't know too much about that era of Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah, that's when I tried to start back watching it, and I was just like,
somebody just booked the makeup appointment. Look, booked and busy.
Booked and busy, yeah.
Let's see.
That
hopefully it ain't a day when
smart.
I'm gonna be. I would say March 7th. Okay, cool. I'm gonna be ready.
Next week. That's next Sunday.
Yeah,
that's next Monday.
It's got money in my PayPal.
Well,
what you been up to? You had a lot going on too now.
I know. So I bought another home.
Congrats! Yay!
I'm
Inserts clapping sounds. I wish we can do that.
I don't know. I don't think I broke a record, but I definitely only owned my last property for 5 months. The issue is I was in Tucker, did not like Tucker. Thought I would, try to make myself like it. I love the place more than I love where I was living, so I had to go.
Okay.
And I bought a place in the area that I actually always wanted to be in. But the issue was this, I couldn't find this place when I needed to. So anyway, so I moved, y'all, and I should be done for now. It's just a lot going on. A lot going on.
I ain't even gonna hold you.
Oh, my God. Look, I'm yawning. So anyway.
She yawning because she tired.
So tired.
She definitely had a long day. But when we linked up, we
ate too much.
We went to the mall. We went makeup shopping per use. You know what we do. Then we just came from Korean barbecue, so she ate a lot.
That was so much food. It's funny because I don't even feel like it was that much food. I think it was the spring rolls.
It was the fact that how many times they brought food to the tables, and it just seemed
my eyes was like,
yeah. But you know what? It's cool.
So, some things that happened in the news.
Things that happened in the news. Let's just start off by saying rest in peace to Pop Smoke.
Absolutely. 2
Pop
years,
Smoke.
Y'all, man.
Oh, my God.
It's really sad. I don't know all the real facts of what happened with him. No matter what, he was very young, and he was really about to make a huge impact on the music industry. So,
yeah.
it's really sad. Y'all, dying is permanent.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how. I know some people, they kind of live life on the edge every day. They don't really care, and they might have specific vendettas. But listen, y'all, protect yourself. Move smart. Not saying he wasn't doing any of these things, but just do things you can do. Do what you can do to protect yourself, man, because people are going to always be envious. I mean, even the little things. Somebody might be mad because you got an extra pair of scissors in your car and they need scissors to cut.
Oh, my God. What?
No, seriously, it's really sad, man. It's like we took a couple of big losses this year, man. I think even the Pop Smoke thing, truth be told, he had just dropped a project.
Man, like he was just getting out.
When Welcome to the Party came out, he was 19 years old.
Yep.
It just was super young, man. He had such a unique sound, and it just sucks that was cut short. So rest in peace to him. Condolences to his family.
Yes, ma'am.
Walona from Good Times passed away.
Walona from Good Times, she passed. Kobe passed. It's just a lot going on. 2020 has just been going off. Luckily I have personally been having an amazing 2020 so far.
Yeah, me too. Thank God.
Just as a whole, just a lot going on around us. Then this coronavirus stuff.
Oh, Jesus.
It's just spreading like wildfire. Let's just pray. I was around somebody the other day. They said one of the most ignorant thoughts. I think I told you already.
I don't know. Tell me.
The coronavirus, it don't affect black people. It's like lice. Like black people won't get coronavirus.
But I feel like it was satire. It was fake.
Child, I don't believe it.
Me either. I'm not trying to find out.
Lice all me.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, y'all. As if this wasn't already common sense, wash your hands. Sneeze under your sleeve. Do something, but don't do it onto other people. Because let me tell you something. I can't even count how many times I've been at the bathroom at work and people leave without washing their hands.
I think I've gotten in the habit of doing it more, but I definitely wash my hands all the time. But I've gotten in the habit of doing it more, especially since I do makeup. Mm-hmm. And I make sure that I wash my hands in front of my clients all the time.
Yeah, so they can see it. That's how it should be.
I put hand sanitizer on top because the hand sanitizer I got smells really good.
Hey,
so
I like that. I went to the nail salon yesterday and they had this disinfected cabinet right out on the floor, and you would see them going in and out taking new tools out. I'm like, I need to see these things.
Yeah, I make sure I have alcohol labeled sitting out in front of my clients. I make sure I have brush cleaner sitting out in front of my clients. I carry the wet ones wipes. I carry a pack of those. Like, I just make sure that I do that because sometimes the way my work area is set up, I don't always have access to a sink, so I need to be able to have somewhere where I can just clean my hands real good.
The fact that you think about that, and the fact that there are some people who don't. Like, let
me tell you something. I've heard of so many stories about people getting makeup and hair done, and the person who's providing the service, their hands stink.
Oh my
their hands
God.
Smell like they just used the bathroom. Their hands, their brushes causing them to get pink eye. They got broke out from it. Cold sores. I think about stuff like that. I use a lot of disposable lip stuff. I use a lot of.
That's how it should be. That's honestly, that sets the bar for real.
Yeah, I always tell people that anybody that comes from a Mac background, I'm not trying to shade people that never worked at Mac, but Mac is very, very, very anal on cleaning your tools, using disposable tools, like even down to face powders. I don't even think that people realize that you're supposed to take, like, whenever you're using a powder on different people, you're supposed to take it and wipe it with Kleenex before you put it on your brush.
Kleenex? What's that?
Take a Kleenex. It's a regular Kleenex.
Like tissue.
Yep. And then you just wipe it off, and then just to wipe the layer of powder off, so that way it won't transfer anything from somebody else's skin.
And I remember y'all used to dip the lipstick in alcohol before.
Yeah, we spray it with alcohol and wipe it off. But I still don't trust that. I definitely depot all my lipsticks and I scoop it out of a tube onto a petri dish or a thing. What you got today?
Like,
the little.
Yeah.
But I use a lot of liquid lipsticks for that reason.
Oh, yeah, because you can just put a brush on there and just...
Yeah, I can do a little disposable.
That's how it should be, but there are people who are not doing it, and that's disgusting, y'all. Seriously.
Yeah, it's crazy, okay?
All right, so let's get to the point, I guess.
No.
What's up?
It was a lot more than I missed.
Go ahead.
Well, I just got one more. This is kind of positive, actually. R. Lennox, she responded back to a lot of people that have been saying stuff about, you know, the current state of R&B, how it's not the same. Nobody has soul. Everybody sounds similar, blah, blah, blah. But
which is not true. I don't understand how people saying that.
And then if you even think back to 90s R&B, the way that they used to pronounce their words, like how if you listen to Monica or Jodeci or all these other people, they were like, you. Like, they all used to kind of sound alike to me.
Yeah, that was a style.
That was the style. That's the same. So what's the difference now?
You know what? I think she's talking about Young and May, because Young and May, you know, this is the thing.
And K. Michelle. K. Michelle said something twice.
Who are y'all talking about when y'all say that? Because just because you haven't heard of somebody making this kind of music doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Today I listened to an entire acoustic album from PJ Morton, and I wish somebody would say he ain't R&B. I
don't even know who that is.
Let me say exactly. So, that's not no shade to you, but I'm just saying there are people who are making excellent R&B music. It's just I feel, and I don't. I hate to sound like a parent, but I hate when people say stuff like that.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody doing that, or why y'all ain't. I'm like, they are, actually.
They sound like just people's grandparents. Like, when we were young, our parents were saying the same thing. It's just a recurring cycle.
Yeah, exactly. You're a rapper, so of course you're not hearing stuff like that. I love Young and May. Don't get it twisted, but I just don't think it's fair to say. It's just like saying all these new rappers sound alike. Now, a lot of them do sound alike.
Yeah.
But
it's just a certain style is popular right now.
Exactly. And that's just how it always is. When we think about rap, like when Will Smith used to rap, how they used to rap, I wish they would come out today sound like that. But that's how they all sound in that era. I just think that sounds develop. People are inspired, and they create their own thing. Like,
but she ended up writing a message to everybody that is in the R&B industry right now, saying to all my fellow R&B friends killing shit, I love you and we got this. Back in the day, people used to judge and hate on the evolution of soul music as well. It's a vicious cycle that every generation of artists goes through. Don't be discouraged because real music deserves to be heard. We have angels that love and support and go hard for us, which is the coolest blessing. What are we doing now? What we are doing now may not be fully appreciated or seen due to as a shit agenda, period. Pooh. But will last forever. Music will last forever. Real music will last forever.
Literally. And guess what? In 5-10 years, it's going to be another sound and somebody's going to say the same
same thing. It's a recurring cycle. Like, a rap isn't going to sound the same as it did 10 years ago. I mean, get over it. Like, I honestly don't even think I would want to hear anybody rapping like Biggie and Tupac right now. It's not even that deep.
Yeah, I was about to rap Coolio. I'm sure.
Even that. So
yeah, just be quiet. The thing is, people just
if you don't like it, if you don't like something, don't listen to it. Don't even be like, I don't understand why everybody has to have an opinion on every single thing, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't just a more lasting impact when you just put it out there in the universe, the digital verse.
Anywho, we are about to get into our topic for today. Alicia has a topic that she wants to touch on. I didn't watch the show yet. What's it called?
Love is Blind.
Love is Blind. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to have to watch it after this, obviously.
So, Love is Blind is a Netflix original. It's a reality show, I guess you could say. And basically, the concept of the show is to find love without judging someone by their physical features. So, they basically get to know people through a wall. So, it's like the girls on one side, the guys on one side. They all date each other, quote unquote. Like, I spend a few hours with you, spend a few hours with him, and whoever I click with, I'm going to request more dates with them.
Okay.
And so, basically, there was a black couple, I guess you could say, a duo. One guy's named Carlton, and then the girl name is Diamond. So, basically, they clicked. Just to be totally honest with you, I'm not gonna say that. So a lot of people were familiar with Carlton already because he was on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. He had like snapped on Kenya Moore on like her first season on the show, and he to my knowledge he was on there multiple times. And I can't tell you how many episodes, but I do remember that, and I remember how feminine he was. And when I saw him on the show, I'm like, that ain't how he acts. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, he's just putting out this really masculine. He wasn't even being really masculine, but he was not. Like, you can kind of tell. Yeah. So anyway. That's irrelevant. It's just kind of painting a picture of the perception I had. So anyway, so now Carlton has picked Diamond that he wants to date. And then they, on the show, once you find a person that you like or feel like it's going to be the one, you propose to them. Mm-hmm. And some of it could be in 5 days, 9 days, whatever. But the thing is, it's kind of, the show makes it seem a lot worse and it's not, I can't even talk. So on the show, basically, they spend hours with each other every day. So I think that intensifies like their feelings for each other because now they want to like, I gotta meet you type thing. So they propose. They spend a week together in like a pre-honeymoon type of thing.
Okay.
Then they get married. Then they spend a week together in their own element, like with their family and their actual homes. And then they get married. And at the wedding is where they decide if they want to continue. Like when they say I do and I don't, that's when people will be like, no, this is not gonna work. Yes, blah blah blah. So that's just kind of how the scene goes. Okay. So anyway, the whole time Carlton is on the show, he's just like, I got this big secret, and I hope that, it don't be a problem, and blah, 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 blah. And he had already disclosed it to us, the viewers, on what it was. So anyways, so basically him and Diamond, they meet in person, and they are on their little pre-moon. And he tells her that he is bisexual. Or he didn't even say that. He just says, I've dated men and women. Okay, cool. So Diamond was shocked, but she wasn't really mad. She just told him that she needed some time to think about it. And I think that's fair. So anyway, she goes and I guess they spent like a night away from each other. I guess she slept in another room. And so she was like basically ready to tell him like, it's okay.
Yeah.
But he didn't give her that chance. And so they sitting by the pool and she's basically like, my issue is that you waited until now to tell me. And, I just don't like that. I kind of feel like I've been very transparent with you this whole time, been very real with you. And this, to me, is kind of a big deal. Like, why are you telling me that? And he just, like, spazzes on her. He throws his hat, throws the ring, calls her out her name, call her the B word, tell her whole wig slipping. I mean, oh, my God. It goes so freaking left. And it's just like, to me, he basically went up for his 15 minutes. That was my perception of it. Because the way he even acted, it was just so freaking unnecessary. The feminine side of him definitely came out at that pool. Like when he started calling out her name and telling your wig been slipping this whole time and and she was like, hold up. Then he gonna have nerve to say, I'm sorry for the run on y'all, but he was like, well, every girl I dated in the past didn't have no problem with it. And then she was like, well, why didn't you tell? She was like, so why didn't you just tell me up front? If every other girl that had a problem with you, be honest. If I would have told you already, then you wouldn't have wanted to be with me. But that's not what you just said. You just said that nobody. You basically kicking it to me like you've done everybody the same way and you done me differently. And even if she wouldn't have wanted to be with you, that's her choice. I feel like you can't take that choice away from her. So anyway, what I'm getting at is just basically, whether sexuality or any kind of secret, do you feel like there is a right time or a wrong time to disclose or something that's a big deal like that?
So I do feel like sometimes in the beginning it's not really a good way to start off. Like just come out of the gate saying like, hey, I have this going on, or I'm this type of person, blah, blah, blah. And by that, I mean like in the first conversation. Yeah, and the reason why I say that is because I definitely have been very judgmental in my life, like before, especially before I've been educated on a lot of things. But somebody would tell me something, and I don't mean to, whatever, I'm human. But like, say for instance, somebody will tell me the first conversation we have today, they're HIV positive. Mm-hmm. And I'll just be like...
It's easy to be like, all right, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, I'm like, do I feel like dealing with that or what? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I think that when it comes to stuff like that, I don't think that they're wrong for not wanting to do that up front. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes, like when you first meet somebody and you do that, you don't know what anybody is capable of. Like, you don't know if somebody has killed somebody, that they're able to hurt you, whatever the case may be. So that'll be kind of interesting. Like weird feeling to just come out and say that up front, opposed to you getting to know somebody just even a little bit, because you will feel like they have some sort of compassion for you at first. So you'll be like more comfortable into telling people like, hey, this is what I have going on, or this is the type of person I am. When it comes to sexuality, for me, I do feel like it is a little bit deeper, and I feel like we are in a time where things are more accepted than others, but there's still a lot of learning for different communities and different type of people to do. Like, they don't really know it, and it's nobody's fault that they don't know that, because we weren't raised to
accept it as normal.
And we don't really know. And I just remember one time I was watching an interview with Amaya, and she was just saying how whenever a guy approaches her, and she never tells him immediately like, hey, I'm trans. So what she does is the first thing she asks is, do you know who I am? And they'll say no, or they'll say yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if they say no, she'll proceed to still talk to them, but she'll text them. She'll get their number, she'll text them and be like, hey, I asked you that because I'm transgender. I just want to make sure you're okay with that, or if you even knew that before we continue this.
Yeah.
I feel like that's safe because that's protecting your...
Yeah, but she also kind of has that privilege of doing it because she is like saying, do you know who I am? It's kind of like...
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I get it though. It's still... That still is the right approach to me. It's kind of like not tricking, like, hey, now it's not awkward. I'm not sitting here in your face and putting you on the spot, because now if you are against it, now you kind of feel like you got to defend yourself. Some people got a lot of pride, toxic masculinity per se, and now they got to cause a scene because you tried me, bro, type thing. You know what sucks on the show? Carlton really went on social media. He went on this whole thing like calling the girl biphobic and made this whole movie. True. That's where that biphobia hashtag came from on Twitter because of the show. And that's
not true though. Like, that's wrong for you to even put that on there. And I need people to understand that.
Let me tell you, he be going in on her, and it's just not cool because yes, her wig was slipping, but the girl. Number one, I'm glad she stood up for herself, but it's not. So this is how I feel. I feel like anything. And I guess you could say there's a spectrum of information that can be shared, but I think that when it comes, like, essentially y'all about to get married.
Yeah.
So I think that whether you felt like she was going to not be interested in you or not, this is something you should have disclosed before you got engaged, because now you kind of taking away her right to choose. And I had to use that verbiage, but it really is the case, because it's like, to me, it's kind of like saying you went to prison for doing some kind of crime. You paid your debt to society, and you free, you don't live that kind of life anymore. But I just want to know that if we're together, to me, like, omission is a lie.
Yeah.
Leaving something out is a lie. And I like me, I don't know how I would feel if a guy told me he was bisexual. I don't really know if it's a big deal. I don't know, because I've never been faced with the situation. I think I've come a little bit more open to the idea now, but I mean, it don't matter because I'm in a relationship.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But I just feel like anything, it's just not cool. It's just not cool. I think that if this was in a regular world where he and her were dating and this was not a TV thing, this is something that if he got to know her and felt like he could trust her, then maybe he should spur, but not like months down the line. Like, I just feel like there's a such thing as breaking the ice, and there's a such thing as like meeting somebody. I think like maybe date 3 or something. It just really depends on how deep y'all get, but I don't think it's fair. It's not cool, and I just hate how he handled the whole situation. It's just not cool. I feel bad for Diamond, I really do. But when you go on TV, you got to deal with characters.
Oh yeah, trust me.
Have anybody ever put a surprise on you like that?
Let's see. I've had situations where people have told me that they have boyfriends, like, down
that's
the
a
line.
secret, honey.
Now, that's a huge secret, and that's something you do tell people in the beginning. More recently,
they shouldn't entertain you. They be like, hey,
yeah. I don't know if I told this story already, but recently, maybe like a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months, could have been longer. I don't even know if it was this year, to be honest. I was hanging out with somebody who I used to talk to. Mm-hmm. We never dated, but we, talked here and there. And we just was hanging out. I haven't talked to him in a minute. So we ended up hanging out, and we went to the mall. We went to get food. We just kind of spent the day together. And then, the whole time, he was just talking about his ex, and well, not the whole time, but he did bring him up a few times, just saying how like bad of a person he was, and how, they did have a slight abusive relationship on both parts and all that sort of stuff. And I'm just, that was a red flag for me, because I'm like, let me tell you something. You beat on me, you gonna go to hell.
Period. I'm
right
gonna take
then
it
and
out.
there.
I'm taking it for her.
I'm sending you right to your maker. But so when we got back to his house, because we ended up riding in the same car, so we ended up riding in my car. So we got back to his house, and then he was getting stuff out of his car, and his mom pulled up or whatever. So when his mom pulled up, he got back in my car, and he was just like, roll your window up. And I'm like, wait, your mom doesn't know you're gay? And he was like, no, she do know I'm gay. I was like, oh, okay. So that's just the first thing that popped in my head. Yeah. So she saw him get in my car, and then she ended up walking over to the car, and she asked me to roll the window down. And I rolled the window down, and she was like, "Hey, how are you?" And I'm like, "I'm good. How are you?" You know, whatever. So he's sitting there looking crazy. And she was like, "Oh, so this is a new guy. So you and so-and-so broke up?"
Oh, my God.
And I looked at him, and he was like, "No, we didn't." Dead. I'm dead.
He should have, I mean, not to condone lying.
I said, "How you get snitched on by your mama?"
Right. She knew what she was doing. Dang. How long had y'all been talking at that point?
Well, we knew each other for a minute, but after that, it was just a dub.
See, and that's what you know what I'm saying. But you know what, and this is not to even be that kind of person, but there are some people who are okay with that. So why you just be honest? I feel like you cannot control the situation by holding back information for your own gain.
Let me tell you. It's a lie. I
was shocked when I found out my boyfriend was engaged before. And he didn't tell me like late in the game.
Yeah.
But if I just found out today, I'm like, excuse me? So I win your first fiance.
Oh my God.
Right?
Yeah, you do have to ask because you need to know. I mean, for one, you need to know. I feel like certain things you have to tell your partner or somebody that you're dating, especially out down the line.
Of who you are is your life.
Yeah, I think that you need to tell any type of medical history. It ain't even got nothing to do with HIV and all that other stuff. But if you have heart conditions or if you have a stomach condition or... Because I remember one time I was talking to a boy, he had some type of stomach issue, and like, he had to go to the hospital. We went on a date one time, he had to go to the hospital. I didn't know nothing about what he had going on. He just was in so much pain.
And now you in shock, confused, and he been dealing with it the whole time.
Yeah. So it's just like different stuff like that, like medical conditions, behavior issues. So if you are bipolar or if you have anxiety, like really bad anxiety or whatever you need to, I feel like that's a conversation that should be had.
Because it takes a certain kind of person to deal with that. And I need to make sure I'm the one.
And also I think people do have to stop being offended when somebody doesn't want to deal with them because of that. Because at the end of the day, you don't know what that person have been through. I run into a situation on Twitter and just in general when people get mad at me for shaming people or just saying that I won't date people that do drugs. Like, even weed for me is kind of iffy. Whatever, you smoke weed, that's cool. My only beef with it is because I don't smoke and I don't want to smell like it.
Yeah.
And so I had that problem before with my clients, and I asked them not to smoke around me because I'll pull up somewhere and I'll smell like a whole backwood.
Yeah, and that's not cool.
You know what I'm saying?
And who knows who you about to see next? It's kind of unprofessional.
Exactly. I don't have the same, type of clients, but my mama died of taking a Percocet that was prescribed to her, one pill. So if I'm sitting here trying to date somebody and they popping pills and those other stuff, you don't feel like that would be triggering for me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I don't want to see that. And then on top of that, I have family members that are like drug addicts, and I've been around it, not even by force, I just been around and I saw them do it, and it's kind of scarring to me. So of course I don't want to see that. So I can't do that. And I feel like people need to realize or be sensitive to stuff like that. That's not fair to that person. So if I don't want to talk to you because you have a drug problem or that you're trans, it's not even the fact.
What?
It's not even that.
The trans thing too is a very sensitive
because the thing about it is, I'm not educated on that because of somebody that actually happened to me before too. We talked about it on here, how somebody came out to me as trans after we've been dating for months. And it wasn't that I judged them for it, but at the time, I never even, when I think of trans, I only think one-sided, especially back then. I was like 20. Yeah, a man transitioning to a woman. I never even considered it being the other way around when a girl transitioned into a guy. On top of that, I'm a man and I date boys. I date men. So it's like, I never would have thought that a person that transitioned into a man would want to even date me. So imagine how mind fucked I was.
Yeah.
So it's just like all
it's like
over the place.
Scratch. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah. But I ended up making friends recently with this tattoo artist on Instagram that's trans, and he transitioned into a man. Mm-hmm. And I always ask him like different questions on how do I go about asking, what do your preferred pronouns? Mm-hmm. And then also he kind of opened my eyes up to like what the word non-binary really means and how most trans people identify as non-binary, because a lot of them still date. Like, say, for instance, if it's a girl that transitioned into a guy, they'll probably still date a guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even nothing about sexuality or whatever the case may be. It's about just who they love. And I think that people just have to be respectful. And even me, I just was uneducated about it. So anytime I have questions, I'll ask them and just make sure, you know, I'm doing the right thing and doing my part. Because I never want to be disrespectful to people like that, you know. I only want to look down on this because I like drug it. And I feel like I made the trans guy that I was talking to, I feel like I made them uncomfortable. Really? Just because I was asking so many questions. I didn't even believe it. I was asking to prove it. I wanted to see the genitals. I wanted to see everything. Like, I wanted to make sure.
Other people, I can understand.
You know, and that's rude.
Yeah,
like
your curiosity, I mean, this is somebody you talking to, is kind of like, well, why can't I ask you?
Yeah, because I think that even when I'm talking to people about trans women, the first thing they ask is, do she still got a dick?
Yeah.
Like, why does your mind go there? Right. That's why I was kind of.
Cut a dick off, man. Oh,
that's what I'm saying. Like, why does your mind automatically go there? Like, you taking it. That's whatever.
Unnecessary.
That's a whole nother conversation.
What do you think about family secrets? Like, do you think that there's like? I actually had this conversation with somebody recently, and I feel like I personally am not a fan of family secrets. Obviously, I know there's a time and a place to share.
What you mean by family secrets?
So I know a situation where a person. Mother is actually their grandmother. They were adopted, but they don't know that.
Whoa.
So they think that their mother birthed them. I know some people who were adopted in general, like into a whole new family, and they didn't find out until they were an adult that they were adopted, that their biological parents were somebody completely different. Ancestral stuff. You know, some stuff is kind of like, don't even bother with it. But how do you feel about, like, do you think that stuff like that should be shared amongst family? Like, is that considered gossip, or do you think it's just kind of necessary?
I don't know. I'm conflicted about it, because even situations where, like, the mom, if, say, for instance, they think that their grandmother is their mother, I feel like that'll fuck somebody up, though, because what if your mom is just, like, not mentally stable to even deal with you? I mean, you know, it's all on her because she continued to have a baby. Yeah. And this is also another reason why people need to be pro-abortion, because they bringing kids into the world that they cannot take care of. And mistakes happen. People need to stop acting like they're not human. Everybody don't always put on a condom to have sex, and mistakes happen. Everybody can't afford a baby. Everybody can't afford a plan B.
No, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just different stuff like that. So I feel like when it's situations where, like, people grow up thinking that their grandma is their mom,
grandma's the baby.
Yeah, I don't want to. I personally wouldn't even want them to find out until they're like 17, 18, just because they're old enough to figure out what they want to do.
I understand.
It. But
I just feel like think about
it's too big of a secret.
Yeah, and at that age, it's just kind of like, so all these years y'all been lying to me, because to me that's still a lie. Like, I feel like, for example, if I had a family of kids and I had a child that was adopted, personal preference, I would want them to grow up knowing they're adopted. Now, I'm not going to make them feel, I'm going to do everything in my power to not make them feel like they were not my biological child. But I just feel like stuff like that is a big deal, because, you know, there are things from that person's biological family that might make them who they are that I cannot answer for them.
Yeah,
like,
that is true.
Things like traits, and what if they find that? You know, I've been in a situation because I was born outside of a marriage. And there were things about myself that I never understood until the last couple of years, because I was not around them growing up, and I was not raised in the same household. So I just feel like things like that are important. Now, I know there are laws that restrict people who are adopted from being in contact with their biological family, but that is a piece of them that'll never be interpreted. You know what I mean? I just feel like I have a coworker who's adopted. I think she was adopted by a family of a completely different race, and there's nothing that y'all can do to make her feel like this is where she, you know what I'm saying? She's going to always feel like rejected a little bit. Yeah. I just think it's fair to let her know her roots and to understand, like, where the country her family is from, just things of that nature. I just think that omission is lying. It might be hurtful, but I'd rather, like,
I think that people should. You're right. I do think that people should know the truth up front, though.
And that maybe not, like, you ain't got to be 3 years old talking about, baby, you're adopted. It's like, when that child is old enough to interpret and have a conversation. I think an 8-year-old is smart enough to interpret things. You know what I'm saying? And they're at an impressionable age where they're not, like, having a midlife crisis. Like, if I'm 18, I just graduated from high school. I'm supposed to be going away to college. my friends is my friends, and now you telling me that I'm from Hawaii? You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, that explains everything why I like okay, let me stop. But it's just like, I just feel like things like that are so freaking important. It's kind of like, and I know it's not easy. Like, if somebody has an STD, you're not just about to do, like we talked about earlier, you're not going to just disclose that. That'll make things awkward, and you'll be probably single forever because every person's going to be ran off.
Yeah.
But you also cannot, it's not about you. It's about everybody that's involved. So you can't just, like, you just got to be, I don't know, honestly, and maybe I'm not the right person to even give advice on something like this, but I just feel like, what would you want? How would you want to be if you were in this situation?
I think, I do agree with that,
not
but
you,
also
but like
I think that when, in general, I also look at it as like, what if it don't work out and I just spilled all my tea?
I know.
Up front, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then who's to say, like, I don't run into somebody else and then they're like, oh, you know, so-and-so got this. And
I know, and that's the,
you know what I'm
honestly,
saying?
that's really
terrible.
sucks. That's something that people do have to deal with because
it's like, I could have avoided that just by not telling you at all until I was comfortable with telling you.
It's like, it's easy to be like, taking time getting to know people, but people get put on a facade. They do.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, you're right, though. You're right about that. And there's some stuff that I've dealt with that I've only disclosed to two people, like in relationships, two different relationships. And I mean, it's not something they can go off and tell, but I do kind of wish, like, I don't waste all my time breaking this down.
Yeah.
But it just was necessary in that moment, man. It just sucks. If y'all listen, if y'all have had a situation like this, like, how did you deal with it? I really want to know, like, how did you deal with it, or how did you give the news if you were on the distributing end?
Yeah.
If you will. But I think that things like that are so touchy, but it's just necessary, man. But the last thing am I biphobic for wanting to know if my man, like, for not wanting to date a man that's bisexual? I don't think so. But that's what people are trying to say about the situation. It's
I think people need to look up the definition of a phobia.
You're right.
Like, a phobia means a fear. It's not it's not necessarily a fear.
It's a preference.
It's a preference,
yeah,
and so, you know, everybody's not going to be okay with it, and that's fine. Just find somebody.
I don't want a man whose teeth look like his windows. You get what I'm saying?
That's triggering. That's triggering.
I'm sad. I don't want a man.
Yeah, like, realistically, and I get it. Like, me personally, I don't want to date. I feel like at my big age of 30, almost 31, I don't want to date anybody that doesn't have good hygiene. And by hygiene, I mean, like, brushing your teeth the correct way, getting, you know, dental visits in, using the right soap, because
listen, I understand.
the girls be trying to use this natural thing as like an excuse, but I know people that are natural that don't smell. Yeah. And if you do, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, but I don't know. I'm real sensitive to smell. Listen, so if you stink or anything like that, I can't do it.
Listen, I don't even want. Am I kid phobic for not wanting a man with kids?
You are.
Like, what if he would have told her?
I'm musty phobic. Must phobic.
Let me tell you, I'm offspring phobic.
No, I'm dead ass must phobic though, because I am kind of scared of that. I don't want to say
Imagine if this man would have told her he had 3 kids, 6 kids, 10 kids. Is she wrong for not telling? You know what I'm saying? So let's change it. Like, I know that the sexuality and identity is a very huge subject in today's environment. Really, but a secret is a secret is a secret.
Yeah.
What you mean you lost your foot in the Vietnam War? Are you okay?
Yeah,
thank you for your service, but
I don't know. That sexuality thing, though, I do think that it's both sided. I think that people on our side on certain subjects, they need to stop, because I feel like they use it as like
a crutch,
and they also use it as a like, I don't know, like, because I feel like black people do it too.
A weapon, weaponized.
They definitely use it as a weapon against other people sometimes, and I don't like that.
What you mean by black people? You mean the sexuality, or just
no, black people in general? Like, say for instance, like a lot of the things that people get offended by other races doing, I don't really most of that. I ain't gonna say most, but a lot of that stuff I don't really get offended by.
Yeah, a lot of it's not a big deal.
I don't think that people should make it a big deal.
What you think about Chet Hanks and the patois accent?
I don't know who that is.
Tom Hanks' son basically was using a Jamaican accent a couple of times. Everybody liked it at first, but he kept doing it. Now they're just like, turns out apparently, I didn't fact check this, I think he's married to a Jamaican woman, but they're basically saying he's been a cultural appropriator, and I'm like,
I do feel like patois is something that is only spoken in the Caribbean countries or Jamaica. I'm not sure. I'm not really whatever. But also, I speak patois sometimes as a joke. Not
That's
as a
what I'm
joke, but
saying.
sometimes I'll just make it.
But it's the thing, like, good, y'all.
Yeah.
Really? I mean,
Am I cultural appropriating too?
I do think there is a such thing as just doing it too much.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta, like, because this is the internet, this one video is being circulated. And so 2 weeks later, you're doing another video. So now it's like, okay, you need to know your limit. But I thought it was funny at first. I really did.
Yeah.
And then people came at him and he stood his ground. He was just kind of like, he used a terrible example, but he was like, well, if black people go skiing, are they cultural appropriating?
Oh, God.
I know, right? But basically just saying, like, come on. Like, I do think they're, like, the braids, don't play with me. I'm not with the braids.
Yeah.
I'm not with it. If a job tells me that that's not a neat hairstyle, but you can come through and do that and it's all cool and radical.
See, you know what's so crazy? I never even, not to say that I didn't realize that happened to people, but I never knew anybody personally until, you kind of explained it to me.
You see what? Hold up, y'all. A few episodes ago, I said I took my braids out because it would stop me from getting a job. What I'm doing tomorrow? Starting a new job.
Yeah.
Took my braids out and got a new job.
Yeah, and I didn't realize how deep it was because of me working in the field where I can literally look and
people
do whatever
can look how
I
they
want to
want.
do.
Let me tell you
so
something.
I just be thinking in my head like, girl, you can do whatever you want to. Like it really pisses me off when people can't do that.
Listen,
so now that I know that part of
hygiene
it,
problems for wearing natural hair.
yeah,
It's
like
crazy.
I really feel bad about some things that I've said before just because I didn't realize it from that perspective, like how people get turned down. Even like recently, that boy, he couldn't even graduate because he had locks. You know what I'm saying? But it's okay for y'all to put that in. But it's like y'all people, and I know you didn't do it personally, but it is kind of disrespectful for you to just do something like that and frolic around with it, and then people make it on headlines like, "Oh, this new trend of braids."
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
well,
a
it's not
slap
new.
in the face. It's not new at all. Keke
it's
Palmer
fucked
just
up.
did a segment the other day about natural hair. She went in. I had to favorite that video. I might post
Yeah,
it on the
it.
podcast.
I love
page.
it. I was watching that video when she had that afro and she kept
Oh yeah,
saying,
it was that same day. Yeah.
I love it. She was like, what did she say? My favorite part.
She
I got it in my
is
phone.
here. Natural.
I forgot. Hold
The
on.
fact that California just passed a law saying that it is illegal to discriminate against hairstyles, like, and what that is
In
a such
2020.
it's a such thing as having untamed hair. That is a fact.
Yeah.
But the hairstyles that they're talking about is literally how our hair grows naturally.
Out of my head. So you telling me, hold on, let me play this one part. It's just a little clip.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
I'm here with it. Do you understand? Do you understand, baby?
I love Keke Palmer.
I've been saying that all week. Okay, I'm here with it. You understand?
I had to follow her after that segment she did today about black hair.
Can we just acknowledge? And I tell people this
A
all the time. I
queen.
think that people have really acknowledged. I mean, like looked
Slept.
over Keke Palmer's revamp. Because I ain't gonna lie, at one point in time, I thought that she was on her way off a cliff. That girl was like looking crazy to me, and I don't
Really?
mean
I
that
don't
in no
even remember.
disrespect, but she was looking crazy. She had like 6 piercings in her face. She had like 2 eyebrow rings and a nose ring. She was getting all
You know
these
those
crazy
Disney
tattoos.
kid trying to find
Yeah,
her
and I
way.
was just like, oh my God, Keke Palmer fell off, and then she just revamped. Like she looks amazing. She's doing some amazing things.
She is, and she's authentically
I'm just so happy
herself.
for
I remember
her.
I had run into her, not ran into her like I know her. I saw
Yeah.
her at Wet Willis one night. No reason for me to share that. Just wanted to say that. But no,
You
I
remember
like,
back in the day we seen Keke Palmer at Six Flags.
Oh
and
yeah,
she-
I do remember that. I remember the second time she came. She was young. She probably like 14 or something
Yeah.
like that back then. But yeah, shout out to Keke Palmer. That's a true queen.
I love her.
But listen, y'all, don't hold no secrets and let me
Period.
wear my hair how I want to. The whole reason why I'm about to be up late tonight because I got to straighten my hair so I can make a good impression on my new goddamn job.
Just straighten your wig.
That's what I might do for real.
Yeah, just straighten it. I mean, I feel like that would be easier.
Yeah, because I'm gonna have to make this 4 braids though instead of 2 because these braids gonna make my head like a little alien. All right, y'all. That wraps our episode this week. Sorry it's so short. We're doing 2 tonight and we tired. Oh,
All right, y'all.
bye.
So, anywho, bye.